The Data Days is one of the best features of ThinkCrew. You can reschedule your schedule from inside of it. You can now solo different elements. You can do filtering. The list goes on and on and on. Let's dive right in and get started. So I'm here in the schedule, and the first thing we need to do is actually make our Data Days visible. It's here at the bottom when we're looking at the panes in the default view. All I need to do is hover over this line right here and drag up, and then there's my Data Days. And when I'm done with my Data Days, I can slide it away or put it anywhere I want. I'm going to make this as tall as it can go so we can see the Data Days clearly. The Data Days has a menu bar running across the top right here. And of course, we can see the elements running down the left-hand side and the totals over here on the right-hand side. In the middle, of course, are the status for every single element that's listed in the Data Days. And the dates and shoot days are at the header here on the top. But let's take a look at this menu bar. So the first item here is the view. Currently it is set to grid view, which is the standard view for a Data Days, but there's also a calendar view. By selecting the calendar view, I can actually see all the same information from the Data Days, but as a calendar. I can use the arrows to navigate which month I'm in, and I can use the settings drop down here to control which events I'm actually seeing. Right now I'm just seeing the work events, but if I wanted to see work and hold, here's the works and holds for each day. If I just wanted to see the holds, I can turn off work, and now I'm just seeing hold days. I'm going to switch that back to just work. Let's go back to the grid view and we'll continue seeing all the different menu items. The next menu item lets me control which board I'm seeing the Data Days for. By clicking this, I'm going to see a list of all the boards I have, including the option to see a Data Days for all of these boards put together. If I click Combine Boards, it's going to show me the Data Days as if I had squished all of my boards together onto one Data Days. I can also just see the Data Days for individual boards. This one only has a few days on it. And here's my first unit, which has most of my material. The next item over selects which category I'm looking at. So right now I'm looking at cast members. If I want to see a Data Days for background, I can just switch that to background, or any other category that I currently have elements in. I'm going to switch this back to cast. The next item over is the date picker, which allows me to pick a date range for my Data Days. So for instance, if I just want to see the first week of the shoot, there's the first week. If I want to see the second and third weeks of the shoot, there they are. And I'm going to go ahead and reset this back to the shoot dates. This next menu item is the settings dropdown, which lets me control how the information looks and what information I'm actually seeing in my Data Days. I can toggle the days off, so I'm just seeing work days. I can turn on a count. This shows me how many elements are working on a particular day. So on day 1, I know I have 4 actors, and on day 2, I have 7, and so on. I also have the ability to turn off the color if I just want to see this as plain text. I can turn off the grid lines if I just want to see a very plain view of my Data Days. And lastly, there's a menu item that will take me to the schedule settings where I can control the abbreviations for each element, as well as how my drop pickups are going to work if I'm using drop pickups at all. And I'm going to close that out. I'm going to reset these items here so that it is the normal view for the Data Days. Over here on the right-hand side of the menu bar, I have the ability to filter which elements are actually visible in the Data Days. So let's say I only want to see the actors who are working for more than 10 days, for instance. And then additionally, let's say I want to see actors who have more than 2 hold days. This is a really powerful way to drill down into the information in your Data Days and work in environments that are much less noisy from a data perspective. And to turn that off, I just click the filter button again and it resets. The last item here on the menu bar allows me to control which total columns are visible. For instance, if I want to add a total column for fittings, I can just select fitting right here, and now I have a total column for fittings. This works for any of the events you'll find in ThinkCrew. There's a couple more ways to control the information that we see on the Data Days, and those are located right here at the top of the elements list. One of these tools allows you to control which of these elements you're going to see in your Data Days. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to select this character right here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to select another character and scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to select this character. If I'm trying to concentrate on these 3 characters in my Data Days, it's difficult because they are so far apart physically on this board. But this little eye icon right here allows me to hide all of the other elements that are not selected and just work with these elements. And when I'm done with that, I can just select the eye again and it'll turn on all my elements. And there's another little helper right here which allows you to turn off non-working elements. For instance, I have a character right here, Ma Bailey, who's not currently working in this current version of the schedule. If I want to hide this character because she's not working, I can just click the hide non-working elements, and now Ma Bailey is hidden on the day out of days. I can toggle that back on if I want to see her again. But beyond just having useful tools, you can actually do your scheduling from within the day out of days. If I decide that I would like day 5 to be day 1 on my schedule, I can just select day 5 and drag it over here. And now I've actually changed my schedule from within my day out of days. If I want to select days 8 and 9, I can select both of them and move them around to any place on the schedule. And these changes actually affect the strip board. Let me bring this down here. If I take day 2 and bring it up to day 1, you can see the strip board is changing in real time. Everything inside of ThinkCrew is real-time data. Any changes that I make to my strip board are going to affect my day out of days. And when I make changes to my day out of days, it's going to affect my strip board. If you have questions about this or any other topics, here is our email address. You can hit us up on social media. Don't forget to hit that like button, click subscribe, turn on alerts so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.